Juneteenth is now a national holiday that actually started as a celebration as newly emancipated slaves in Texas learned that they were free. Equally as important, it also let them know that they were supposed to now earn wages for their work. That is very important because that issue of wages is going to continuously be one that figures into the Juneteenth story.
I hail from Louisiana, and so I did not learn about Juneteenth until I came to Texas. And once I came to Texas, I learned about how important it was, the celebration, and it also brought some sadness to know that my ancestors had been free for 2.5 years and were not aware of it. But when freedom came, oh my, what did they do? They realized the importance of education, the importance of having their own businesses, the importance of making sure that their children could lead a wonderful and productive life.
And to see what is happening now in the celebration of Juneteenth around the country is incredible. But it brings me back to Third Ward. It brings me back to the vision of those who developed this community, of those who had the foresight to really make Texas Southern University a very important HBCU, is testimony to what we have to do.
The question back then was, since we are free, what does freedom look like? And of course, freedom back then was freedom to, to live, to be educated, to have your own community. But now in 2023, freedom for our generation is completely different, right? We have those privileges that our ancestors wanted, but the fight has changed. The evils have morphed themselves to something completely different. So Juneteenth will always be that question of what does freedom look like for each generation?
To me, Juneteenth stands for emancipation. It stands for independence, but it also stands for impact. Being from Houston, Texas, where, that news was delivered just on the outskirts of my hometown to enslaved people in Galveston by Black Union soldiers that they were finally free, that's an impact.
I think of the things that I'm able to do now, such as be in a position like this and fulfill my God-given purpose because my ancestors paved the way towards freedom for me.
So with it comes the opportunity for ownership, the opportunity for business interests, the opportunity to build churches, to build educational institutions, to build communities, and to even establish a park, just as we know with Emancipation Park right here in Houston, where Jack Yates and several ministers get together and they purchase this piece of land so that people of African descent can celebrate this very important holiday.
Emancipation Park is unforgettable. It's something that cannot be just lost in the mists of history. It's more than a baseball field. It's more than a picnic ground. It's really a reflection of how those men and women fought. Just coming out of slavery, they had the foresight to create a blueprint which we can follow. And that's immeasurable. It's priceless. And I just hope that in our celebration of Juneteenth, we celebrate the brilliance of these ancestors.
Of course, it's always been a journey. The odds have always been against us, but they persevered. Working at an HBCU, specifically Prairie View A&M University, and historically it being a former slave plantation, knowing that we were celebrating the freedoms of people who once did not have the ability to make the decisions for themselves. And then coming and working at Texas Southern University and being in the heart of Third Ward with Emancipation Park being right up the street gives you a lot of context, the progression and how different communities around the state of Texas celebrate Juneteenth.
It also serves as a reminder to the injustices that face Black and brown people in this country, and that how we must continue to promote political, historical, and economic awareness as it affects the Black masses.
But we shall overcome is what we were told. And the ancestors say, freedom, oh freedom, it doesn't come easily. But we have to maintain it. We have to appreciate it. And we have to celebrate it. And that's why having a holiday and celebrating that holiday is so important to all of us.
I have this memory of Juneteenth that connects with my childhood. And growing up in Third Ward, in segregated Third Ward, those of us who were taken care of by our parents, our teachers, our neighbors, were really isolated and in a bubble, a very wonderful protective bubble. But one of the memories I have is of in a small amusement park, and it was called Playland Park. Playland Park was only open to white families and children. The one day that they allowed black children to attend Playland Park was Juneteenth. I never went to Playland Park. My parents did not let me go to Playland Park on that one day because their feeling was, if you can't go any day, why should you just go on Juneteenth? So it wasn't until I was in the 7th grade, and it was for my birthday, and Playland Park had just been desegregated the summer before, that my parents allowed me to have a birthday party at Playland Park. And it was really wonderful. And I just remember all of us freely going around the park, riding all the different rides. And I rode the Ferris wheel with a certain boy that I had a crush on, so that was very special. But it was that navigation of what was right and what you had to sacrifice that made us as children grow up in a way that gave us wisdom, which enabled us to navigate this world as adults.
We all do the celebration. Even coming from Compton, California, we do the barbecue. And learning that that is, traditional from the Juneteenth celebration tells us a lot, that subconsciously we're always celebrating our independence and that community gathering of being free and being happy as Black individuals.
Now, as an employee of Kroger, I have the honor and the privilege of highlighting and working with Emancipation Park Conservancy to celebrate Juneteenth and give back to the communities that we serve. So I'm so excited and elated for this next step in our journey to partner with staples in the Houston community and celebrate Juneteenth and what it means to Texans and share that across our enterprise.